Hi Libra, welcome into a brief next 48-hour tarot reading for you. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. If you're new to the channel, welcome to this amazing, strong Libran tribe. So let's do some shuffling and jump right into some tarot and see what the next 2 days has in store for us. To begin for my lovely Librans for the next 2 days. Ooh, flying out. I hope you saw that. The Page of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, Three of Swords. I'm hearing meeting of importance. You might be going to see a potential investment. You might be going to meet up with somebody in regards to a new position, right? An interview or a casual meeting of importance of some sort. Anyways, because it feels like the next 2 days does speak upon your money and you needing to spend minimal and work towards making more, work towards a healthy investment potentially. And it feels like you're being reminded from the recent past and throughout this next 2 day period and moving forward. So basically in general, you have the ability to connect with people quite efficiently and not force it to the point where it manifests and you just simply get what you need and or want. So don't fret, because it feels like there is something you do need, okay? The Three of Swords and the Knight of Cups. There may have been a wish fulfillment from the past that was leaving you with a sense of disappointment, and this is going to take a highlight so you don't make a similar mistake or you don't linger in some state of being, okay? It might also have to do with your spiritual connection for some and how to utilize that to the best of your advantage and not let that get the best of you all the meanwhile. But I feel like there's also a slight disappointment within a recent wish fulfillment or recent change that you need to recognize was a blessing, all right? It's almost like at times you're so close to the desire or the need for something that you're not really utilizing your intuition or remembering it to the best of your ability, because you don't want to have to wait longer for a better opportunity or a better situation. And so Spirit's saying that's when we come into play, all right? That's when we come into play. But what else do we have for Libra? The Hierophant. I'm hearing we're trying to make this as easy as possible for you. I do sense that there is change on the mind on a multitude of levels in so many different ways. But the next 48 says, speaks upon you at times having to almost force yourself or be forced by circumstances or by spirit to make an adjustment or two when it comes to your health or when it comes to your external habits of some sort, or one in particular. But I do feel like either way, it's reminding you that even if things feel a little bit in a pinch or just a bit lacking in one way, shape, or form, it's going to also affect things in a positive way, in a different way, right? I'm just getting, say you were overspending on a habit and you're maybe in a bit of a financial pinch and therefore it pushes you to give up that habit for a while or just minimalize it. That's just one example. But the Eight of Wands and the Chariot card. So I feel like you are being pushed to maintain and increase levels of motivation. It feels like there are times when you're speaking, whether it's to make and to influence, to assist, to motivate, or even to simply succeed, right? You're going to find that this feels really rewarding, really fulfilling. And I feel like people simply like the way you are at this point. Is this because you made a recent change? Is this because you are taking care of yourself more so these days? Is it because of something you're doing differently in this 48-hour period? Look at things in your situation and ask yourself, why am I feeling good? Why am I being liked more than I was? Or why am I making more of an impact? Why do I simply feel like for whatever reason things are going to work out for me? There's a sense of you also being reminded when you're in this peaceful, glowing state where all the meanwhile is ship is coming in for you. You look good, you feel good, and you actually do get more done than if you're in that sort of slightly frantic or fast-paced way of being, right? Of course, there are going to be times moving forward where you're having to be or choosing to be more fast-paced and upbeat, but there's a sense of peace about the next 48 for you, where there are obvious factors surrounding you or interacting with you that aren't as peaceful as you. But I do feel like it's not affecting you, all right? Or they're not affecting you. There are going to be a couple moments throughout the next 48 where you feel like a fish out of water, but I'm hearing this is what you ask for a lot, or simply just something to cope with, learn from, and deal with to the best of your ability. All right. I would say that any moment where you do feel like a bit of a fish out of water, there's at least something to remember, and or to learn. Okay. But the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Cups. You're very, very wise being drawn to this reading, and there's something about you needing to tap into that knowledge bank, that experience bank, you know, what you've been through, in order to, especially if it's a similar kind of situation from the past, in order to make something work, to make something last, and to gain exactly what it is that you need and or want at this time. But I feel like you are very much looked after. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a feather or two that crosses your path in the next 48 and surrounding it, because Spirit's saying, we've got you, right? We're here for you. If you desire something, if you even think about something confidently, you're going to manifest it. But we're also answering your prayers, I want to say, or just your desires, your communication. And I feel like your connection to the universe is quite strong at this time as well. And your connection to nature as well, and your surroundings and how that affects you for the better and for the worse. But I do feel like you are making the right choices, and you need to remember this, all right? You need to remember this. I'm hearing it would have been too much. I don't know what that means to you. But the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, because they sense that you are passionately doing things your way in a very electrifying, peaceful manner, and it's drawing people in. People are paying attention to you as you're out and about strutting your stuff, or just dilly-dallying is what I'm hearing. You could be finding that people are very much tuning into your online content, if that's applicable to your situation. But it's this feeling of you beating to the drum of Libra's life, at least at this point. And it could feel like you're doing it in a different way, but Spirit's saying this is very effective. It's very passionate in your own individual way, and it's working to your advantage. And it could even be helping other people, working to their advantage all the meanwhile. But it feels like you are in the mood to do what you're meant to do in this lifetime. So it reminds me of me. I'm going to be in the mood to do readings, which is amazing. I get to help people and see progress on my channel, my business, all the meanwhile. So again, apply it to your situation. You're in the mood to see growth, progress, to put in the hard work, but it doesn't feel stressful. And you need to remember that this is the way it's meant to be, period. And that may remind you why you made a change, and or why you need to make a change. But the Page of Cups, again, talking about, look at that imagery, that glow about you. But you may be thinking about, okay, the higher realm is what I'm hearing. The spiritual realm, you could be thinking about things that didn't work out in your situation, or one thing in particular. But try to keep those thoughts, that reflection, simplistic. Gain what you're meant to gain from it, because it feels like a spiritual push mentally in the back of your mind, and then shift on forward. Utilize it. Okay, again, it's all about you shifting forward progressively with the slight reminders of what you've been through. I really feel like there's a sense of you being in the midst of, wrapped up with a fulfilling opportunity, situation. And I feel like there's also a focus on another one within that, or in addition to it, for the near future. All right. As I start to drift energy-wise, I feel like that's going to happen to you at certain points. You drift away. You start to feel a bit tired. So listen to your body. It may not be always that black and white or that easy. Say you're at work and you want to take a nap, but just as an example. But if you have the space and the time to do so, treat yourself well, right? Take a nap. They're saying do a face mask if you can. Go for a nice stroll. Okay, anyways, the last couple of cards before we wrap this up, the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. you're weighing out the pros and cons. You're thinking about things realistically. You're thinking about your options. You're imagining a time when you're going to have to balance out more on your plate, but being your own choice and being the right one. And I feel like all the meanwhile, you're keeping things to yourself. In one way, you are an open book, or at least sort of, partially. But in a lot of ways, when it comes to a lot of factors that you're considering, mulling over, and achieving in your life, you're not being this vocal individual that you sometimes are, but in other ways, you're a vocal individual. Does that make sense? But I feel like where there's secrecy, where there's a delaying of updating, you're on point. Okay, so don't question that. Don't change your mind in regards to that. But I feel like there's something about you gaining what you want moving forward, and this is going to feel so rewarding. And to wrap this up, I feel like it's the next 48 that truly highlights the fact that on more than one level, in more than one situation, you're communicating your way to victory. Beautiful. So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your next 48, Libra, and I'll see you next time.